To the outside world, Chris and Shanann Watts were living the American dream. A beautiful home, two adorable daughters, and a constant stream of happy photos posted to social media. They were the couple that everyone in their quiet neighborhood of Frederick, Colorado looked up to. But behind the filtered photos and the perfect facade, a dark, suffocating reality was festering. On August 13, 2018, that reality came crashing down. It started with a missed doctor's appointment and a worried friend's phone call. Within hours, the disappearance of the Watts family would trigger one of the most intense missing person investigations in Colorado history. What the police uncovered in the days that followed didn't just shock a small town, it horrified the entire nation. It forced millions of people to ask the same terrifying question: how well do you actually know the people living right next door? Today on Chronicles of the Unknown, we are pulling back the curtain on the Chris Watts case, a story of deception, a shattered family, and a betrayal so deep it continues to haunt the American consciousness years later. Shanann Watts had just returned from a business trip. A close friend, who was supposed to pick her up for a doctor's appointment, grew concerned when Shanann stopped responding to texts and calls. By noon, that concern turned into terror. When the police arrived at the Watts home to conduct a welfare check, the scene was baffling. Shanann's car was in the garage. Her phone, her purse, and her medications were all still inside the house. The children's beds were made. Everything looked perfectly normal, except for one thing. The house was completely empty. Chris Watts, who was at work when the police arrived, rushed home. When the officers questioned him, he appeared calm, almost unnervingly so. He told them he had left for work early that morning, after a tearful conversation with Shanann, claiming she had decided to take the kids to a friend's house for a play date. But as investigators started to dig, the story didn't add up. There were no signs of a struggle, no forced entry, and most tellingly, there were no play dates on the calendar. The more the police looked, the more they realized that the missing persons case was shifting into something far more sinister. The question wasn't just where the family had gone. The question was, had they ever actually left the house alive? By Tuesday, August 14th, the search for the Watts family was officially nationwide news. Reporters descended on the quiet streets of Frederick, Colorado. And then Chris Watts stepped in front of the cameras. If you watch this interview today, it feels deeply, disturbingly wrong. He stands there, shifting his weight, his hands occasionally fidgeting. He describes his home as quiet and claims he has no idea where his wife and children are. But look closely at his face. There are no tears. There is no genuine panic, the kind of raw, sobbing desperation you would expect from a man whose two young daughters are missing. Instead, he speaks in the past tense. He says things like, "I just want them back," while smiling faintly at the mention of their names. To the millions of viewers watching at home, the perfect father act was beginning to crack. Experts in body language would later point to this interview as a classic example of duping delight, the subconscious satisfaction of a liar who believes they are getting away with the perfect crime. He thought he had played the role perfectly, but he didn't realize that in the digital age, everyone is watching, and the entire world was about to see right through him. The truth that emerged was cold, calculated, and impossible to justify. Chris Watts had committed the ultimate betrayal. He had taken the lives of his wife and two young daughters and hidden them in the industrial oil site where he worked. The aftermath was a tsunami of grief and rage that rippled through the country. Today, the case serves as a dark warning, a chilling reminder that sometimes the monsters we fear aren't lurking in the shadows, but sitting right at our own kitchen tables. What do you think was the breaking point for Chris Watts? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And for more deep dives into the unknown, make sure to like and subscribe to Chronicles of the Unknown.